Hey guys, welcome back. I don't know if this video, I don't know if this is like immediate welcome back, um, because I'm not going to finish the last video. I'm going to roll right into this, or if this is going to be its own video. I'm still on the 2011 Mini Cooper. As you can see, it's kind of taken apart. I just replaced. It's hard to see here because it's covered by the shroud, but I just replaced that bad boy, the catalytic converter. So it's got a new cat in it. That's all put back together. I did have a coolant leak that I traced down, so that's what I'm working on now. I replaced this ABS sensor. That was pretty simple, pretty easy to get to. No big deal. It's like one hex screw right here. Actually came right out with a pair of needle nose pliers really easily, and then the plug is over here, so pretty easy. But this one has the crossover pipe. So there's a plastic pipe back here. It's hard to see. Plastic pipe that runs from this thermostat housing, which is just a snake of all these hoses, underneath the intake, and then it runs to the back of the water pump. And at where it goes in the back of the water pump, it's leaking. And I know I did have a problem getting it in there when I did the water pump, because this was a new one. It had leaked, it melted part of it when this thing blew the head gasket. So I'm gonna pull that out. So the way I'm gonna do that, as you can see, I've already done some things here. I'm gonna leave this engine. So this engine mount goes across here. I took it apart in the last video. It's pretty simple, a couple 13 millimeters and an 18 millimeter bolt. This engine brace here I took off. There's a couple 13 millimeter bolts, a couple of 10 millimeter bolts, and a couple of Torx bolts, and it's loose. It can fall down quite a bit more if I wanted to, but I'm just going to leave it here. That really gives you access to these bolts here. And then I've got a jack so I can lift the engine up and down. This jack's on the oil pan. I can lift and raise this engine. So all I really did was this air box goes right here. So this part of this air box goes back here, and this tube runs up to the front of the intake, I guess. And this air box twists and then pops out. And I took the bolt off of this one, and I just unplugged the mass airflow, and I'm going to pop this one out just to give me a little more vision back here. Maybe a little more space for my hands. Yep, it is almost impossible to see. There's a pipe back here. So what I'm going to have to do is pull, no matter what, I can't get light anywhere ever. So there is two bigger coolant hoses, a couple smaller ones, a small one down here. So there's small coolant hose here, two bigger ones, and two more. So I got to pull the camshaft sensors out, lift this kind of wiring harness up out of the way, and then this housing has a couple of bolts on it. I think it's 310 mil, two on the bottom and one up here, and then that coolant thermostat housing will come out. So I'll unplug these so I can get to the lovely hose clamps. So yeah, let me get to it because there's nothing else to do. And then maybe I'll also do the valve cover gasket. So all the things on this Mini Cooper today. I wasn't expecting to do this many things, but I'm doing them. Well, I broke out some lights. Hopefully that's enough. Probably still not enough, because down there is the lower radiator hose. The first thing I'm going to do is drain the coolant. So I think instead of popping these off and letting this just pour, I'm going to pull it off down there, and I'm going to use these pliers. So these little, it's made for those clamps. So it'll get on the clamp down there, and then no idea if I can even let me see if I can bring you along for the ride here. Oh, not quite. And these lock here in. Now that hose clamp is loose, so I'll move it back, loosen it up. I've also got these hose clamp pliers. I'm going to need those over here, and this one again. So, all right, we'll pull this off, let some coolant drain, and have myself a nice party. Oh man. Alright, I think I got all the hose clamps loose. I'm going to finish pulling these hoses off. And then, hard to see, down here is the first 10mm bolt right there. And then I think there's only 2 on the bottom. I've had this off a few times. So I'll use the ratchet, and I think this 5-inch extension, or I think this is 4-inch, and that's 3-inch. So go for the 4-inch extension. I think that's the best one. Pull them out. Hopefully that's all we need. And then we'll show you that pipe back there. Let's see if I can show you. It is. Yeah, it's hard to see. I don't know if you can get back there. Probably not. Down here there's a pipe back there. And there's this metal clip. So hopefully once I get it out I can show you the clip. But, alright, let me pull these hoses. I got it out. It's only 3 bolts. So when you look down, kind of get down, you can see this bolt. Top bolt's not hard to see, and then this one is not far from that top bolt, and it's pretty easy to just get your tool on. So and then here's the clip for the tube. I'm going to try to pull the tube out, hopefully give you a view of the tube. But this thing just O-ring, you can see the O-ring there, and this groove sits in the clip. So yeah, this was replaced. This is not the original. Um, there's also this weird harness. This is not the original harness either. Once you replace it, it has 2 sensors, and you got to get this extra harness. When the car overheated, it melted a hole in the top of the original, so it had to be replaced. But let me see if we can pull this tube out. I don't know if we can. I mean, there it is. It's trying, and it's failing. All right, so I'm gonna have to pull the bracket for the shift cable. A couple 13s, it looks like. Let's do it. Oh, guys, what a deal. For the low price of 63 or 66 bucks, I got this little piece of plastic to replace that little piece of plastic. This one does not have these casting impurities, so that's good. This one was in stock at O'Reilly. Has the O-ring, it has the clip. This clip will stand by for later. But they have you can get it. There's a $25 one, but I guess I could have waited till tomorrow. Probably the quality of this one. Didn't want to wait, so I just went ahead and got this one. Got the valve cover gaskets. Those aren't too expensive. So yeah, I'm gonna snake it in and then put it back in again. It's difficult to see, so I do have some engine assembly lube that I'm going to use to put on this O-ring, because I remember the last time it was tough to get back in there. So yeah, let me put it back in, see if we can get this thing doing something. All right, well, I snaked the tube back down in there. It's down there. Yeah, it's down there. You're just going to have to trust me. There it is. Right there where my finger's at, but lower. Getting the clip in where it goes on this was not easy last time. Once that tube is in, getting the clip in. But I'm going to feed this thermostat housing in. I'm going to put the clip on first with it out, and then I'm going to push this into place. And I might have to go in from the wheel well. There's a little space there I can reach my hand in. Hopefully I don't need someone to help push this in place. But I'll pull and try to set the tube in from over there. So the tube will be connected to this already. And it just pushes into the back of the water pump. Like, it literally is just this pressure is all that holds it in. So yeah, all those little holes and stuff, these little mounting holes, they don't go to anything. So it just pushes in, and this pressure is what pushes it, holds it into the back of the water pump. So yeah, I wish there was a way to get you down in there, but I don't think there is. So I'm going to go ahead, put this on first. All right, let me go over the good, bad. I felt way more comfortable with that, how that tube is inserted in the water pump, than the last time I did it. I remember I was mad, felt like it was in. I didn't know. This time it feels like it's in. It felt like it went in. I think it's good. So I'm way more happy with that. How it goes in the clip, I'm mostly happy with that. But how this end goes in this end of the tube, I mean, it felt good. It was, with it out, it was easier to put in first, and then especially with engine assembly lube, which is, fell down, there it is. Man, it went in so much better. So that engine assembly lube, I guess you could use silicone, but that engine assembly lube was the ticket. And clipping it here first, and then pushing it in, going to the side, reaching my hand up in, making sure it was in the hole in the back of the water pump. It did. Then again, I put the those bolts in. It's all through, especially this other bolt down, the bolt in the front with the shift cable out. It's easier to get to. So also those two hoses and this hose down here are also easy to get to. So so I would say take these two top hoses off and then take the shift cable off, the whole thing, the bracket, and take it off of the shift selector, and then you'll be able to move it out of the way, and you'll have some freedom to play there. And then this cable pliers were way better than the other style, just incrementally better. These two up here needed the other pliers, but for those others, there's no way I can get those other pliers in there. So these cable ones were phenomenal. So yeah, that was the trick. It's all together. I think I got to put the hose clamp back on down there all the way, and then that's it. And then I'm going to move on to the water pump, to the valve cover gasket. So I got a lot of this stuff already off, so that's good. I've got some great stuff here too. Right stuff, sorry. That should help where it leaks at. So I'm gonna right stuff it, and hopefully that does what it needs to do. So yeah, let me fix hose first. Make sure I got the coolant system buttoned up, and then I'll move on. Well, this top of this, the whole darn valve cover gasket looks oily, and then down in here it was leaking. You can see how there's oil just there. Those are spots it was leaking. So all right, I'm going to clean it up, put the new one on. Should be golden. Well, here's the valve cover. This Felpro is definitely thicker. It's got these little reinforced corners, which I like. I think that's going to do good. Yeah, and it's definitely it's taller. So the thicker or taller means it can compress more. That other one did not stick up this far, even though it was only a couple years old, so it was still pretty pliable. I don't remember it sticking up this high when I did it a couple years ago. So yeah, I like this better. I'll go ahead and put it on. Hope for the best. Well, guys, I guess that's it. Last thing left is to start this thing up. I put some coolant in there, so probably need to add a little bit more. Bleed her out. I put both ABS sensors on there. So I do have my scan tool, so I can scan it, clear the codes, see if they don't come back. Both camshaft sensors have been replaced. That coolant pipe has been replaced. A new Felpro valve cover gasket, and a new catalytic converter. So yeah, last thing there is to do is start her up. So let's go ahead and see if we can't start it and see how she sounds. If it sounds good, then that's going to be it. It'll be a wrap. Like and subscribe, because woo-wee, what else would you do for a Klondike bar? Didn't like that. What do we got? That sounds normal. All right, let's try again.
Old ones are the ones that, yeah, that's it. So this place, special. No, that's an expensive car.
Well, guys, I'm going to call it good. Like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. If there's still a problem, I'll let you know, but I'm just going to clear these codes. Probably just needs to run a little bit, clear all that gunk out. I think we'll be good.